Good evening, students. Welcome back to our quantum mechanics class. In last lecture, we discussed about the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. According to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, we cannot measure the position and momentum simultaneously, as well as we can use same principle for the energy as well as time. If you are trying to measure the momentum, then uncertainty arises in terms of position. If you are trying to measure the position, uncertainty arises in terms of momentum. That was last point from the first chapter. Now in today's lecture we are going to solve a numerical problems related with the all points in this chapter. Basically most of the problems with Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Okay, let us start one by one. In first problem, calculate a de Broglie wavelength of an electron having a kinetic energy of 1000 electron volt and compare that result with the wavelength of X-rays having this same energy. The kinetic energy T is equal to, as we know, the kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 m square. We can convert it in form of momentum, which is equal to p square by 2m. We know the kinetic energy of an electron, which is equal to 1000 electron volt. If you convert it into the joule, we have to multiply with the charge of an electron. That's why 1000 into 1.6 10 to the power of minus 19. If you simplify, you will get 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 16 joule. But the de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h by p. Now from above equation we can find out the p. P is equal to square root of 2mt, or which is equal to 2 into 9.11 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 16 raised to 1/2. If we simplify by using calculator, then wavelength of an electron is equal to 0.39 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter, or 0.39 Armstrong. For X-ray, the energy which is equal to hc by lambda, or h nu is equal to c by lambda. If you substitute that, you will get hc by lambda. Lambda is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second into 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 16 joule, which is equal to 12.42 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter, or in terms of Armstrong, 12.42 Armstrong. If we compare these two wavelengths, de Broglie's wavelength of an electron and wavelength of X-ray, which is equal to 31.85. Means the wavelength of X-ray is 32 times greater than the de Broglie's wavelength of an electron. Okay, you can, in this way you can solve this problem. Next, determine the de Broglie's wavelength of an electron that has been accelerated throughout a potential energy 100 electron volt to 100 electron. We will solve for 100 electron volt. Similarly, you can solve for 200 electron volt. Kinetic energy is equal to p square by 2m, which is equal to 100 electron volt, or p is equal to 2mt, or p is equal to 2 into 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 17 raised to 1/2, which is equal to 5.396 into 10 to the power of minus 24 kg meter per second. Or de Broglie's wavelength lambda is equal to h by p. If you substitute the value of p and h, if you simplify, then de Broglie's wavelength of an electron for potential difference 100 electron volt is equal to 1.228 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter, or similarly in terms of Armstrong, which is equal to 1.228 into 10 to the power 1.228 Armstrong only. Same method can be applied for 200 electron volt also. Okay. Next, third problem, evaluate the ratio of the de Broglie's wavelength of electron to that of proton when both have the same kinetic energy, and the electron kinetic energy is 100 electron volt and the proton kinetic energy is 100 electron volt and electron 1000 electron volt. We will solve for the first case, in which this de Broglie's wavelength of electron and proton having same energy. In that case, lambda 1 is equal to h by 2mt1, lambda 2 is equal to h by 2 m2 t2, or lambda 1 by lambda 2 is equal to square root of m2 t2 by m1 t1. But we know that both electron and proton having same kinetic energy, that's why t2 and t1 are same. Therefore lambda of an electron divided by lambda of proton is equal to mass of an electron, which is equal to 1836 times mass of an electron divided by, mass of an proton is equal to 1836 mass of electron divided by mass of an electron, which is equal to square root of 1836, which is equal to 42.85. The ratio of de Broglie ions of electron to the proton is 42.85 if both having same kinetic energy. If both having different kinetic energy, for example 1000 electron volt and 100 electron volt, in that case lambda of an electron divided by lambda of proton is equal to 1836 into 100 divided by 1000, which is equal to 13.55. In this way you can solve or compare the ratios of de Broglie ions for different particles, for electron as well as proton. Next, estimate the velocity of neutrons needed for the study of neutron diffraction of a crystal structure if the interatomic spacing in the crystal is of the order of 2 angstrom. Also estimate the kinetic energy of the neutrons corresponding to the velocity. Mass of neutron is equal to 1.6749 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. In this case, the lambda is equal to h by p. We know the mass of a neutron. We know the interatomic spacing 2 angstrom, from which we can find out the velocity v is equal to h by m lambda. We know the mass, we know the wavelength, we know the Planck's constant, from which v is equal to 1.98 into 10 to the power of 3 meter per second. And once you are getting the velocity, you can find out the kinetic energy also, which is equal to 1/2 mu square, 1/2 into 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 into 1.978 into 10 to the power of 3. If you simplify, if you calculate this, you will get 20.47 into 10 to the power of minus 10 electron volt. This much kinetic energy is generated. Next, an electron has a speed 500 meter per second with an accuracy of 0.004. Calculate the certainty with which we can locate the position of the electron. Now, here they are giving the velocity. From velocity you can find out the momentum, because momentum is equal to mass into velocity. They are mentioning a electron. We know the mass of an electron, which is equal to 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg into 500. It gives momentum, and the accuracy is 0.004. means what? The change in momentum divided by p into 100 is equal to 0.004, from which you can find out the change in momentum, which is equal to 182 into 10 to the power of minus 34 kg meter per second. On that basis, I want to find out the certainty with position, which is equal to delta x is equal to h by delta p. 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 divided by 182.2 into 10 to the power minus 34. It gives 0.0364. This is the position of an electron, certainty with which the location of position of the electron. The same, the average lifetime of an excited atom state is 10 to the power of minus 9 seconds. If the spectral line associated with decay of this state is 6000 angstrom, estimate the width of the line. Estimate the width. Change in time is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 seconds, and wavelength is 6000 angstrom. or which is equal to 6 into 10 to the power of minus 7 meter. Now E is equal to hc by lambda, or which is equal to hc by lambda square into delta lambda, or delta E into delta T is equal to hc by lambda square into delta lambda, or delta T is equal to h by 2 or h by 4, near about. Therefore delta lambda is equal to lambda square by 4 pi c into T. If we substitute the value of lambda c and change in time interval or average lifetime of an excited atom, 36 into 10 to the power of minus 14 divided by 4 pi into 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second into 10 to the power of minus 9, it gives 9.5 into 10 to the power of minus 14 meter. By using Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, you can solve this kind of problem also. Next, a subatomic particle produces in a nuclear collision is found to have a mass such that mc square, which is equal to 1228 mega electron volt, with an uncertainty of plus or minus 56 mega electron volt. Estimate the lifetime of this state, assuming that when the particle is produced in the collision, it travels with a speed of 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. How far can it travel before it disintegrate? For that, the uncertainty in energy is equal to 56 mega electron volt. If you have to convert into the form of joule, 56 to 10 to the power of minus 6 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 9, it gives delta E, or delta T is equal to h by delta E. If we substitute the value of h and delta E, it gives delta T is equal to 5.86 into 10 to the power of minus 24 second. Its lifetime is about 5.86 into 10 to the power of minus 24 second, which is in laboratory frame. The distance travelled before disintegration is 5.86 into 10 to the power of minus 24 second into the velocity, or the speed, is equal to 10 to the power of 8. It gives 5.86 into 10 to the power of minus 16 meter. This much distance is travelled before disintegration. A bullet of mass 0.03 kg is moving with velocity 500 meter per second. The speed is measured to an accuracy 0.02%. Calculate the uncertainty in x. Also comment on the result. Okay, first we will solve this problem and comment on this problem. First, the momentum is product of mass into velocity. Here mass is 0.03 kg and velocity is 500 meter per second. If you multiply, you will get 1500 kg meter per second. Now, accuracy in momentum is 0.02%, means delta p by p is equal into 100 is equal to 0.02. Now I want to find out delta p is equal to 0.02 into 15 divided by 100, which is equal to 3 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg meter per second. Similarly, I want to find out delta x. Delta x is equal to h by 2 delta p, 6.62 into 10 to the power of 34 joule second, 4 pi into 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3 kilometer per second. If we simplify, you will get 1.76 into 10 to the power of minus 1 meter. Okay. By using uncertainty principle, you can solve any kind of problem, any kind of numerical in this way. This kind of problems will be asked in university exam also for 3 marks, 5 marks question. If you have any doubt related with these numerical problems, you can ask me. Tomorrow also we will discuss some another examples related with this first chapter. Then we will move to the second unit. Thank you.